Life Over Coffee. Conversations for Transformation.
Hello everybody, I am Rick Thomas with Life Over Coffee. I am going through my book, The Cyber Effect. This is chapter number 6, The Blue Light Effect. I'll explain that in just a moment, but please make your way over to our store, lifeovercoffee.com, and get our free digital download, The Cyber Effect. And then also get all the other books. If you don't have them, we have a lot of free books over there. Please take advantage of them. Again, chapter number 6, the blue light effect. And what I mean by that is that our lives operate on a 24-hour cycle. You have observed how you become tired and drowsy at certain times of the day. I hope that is in the evening when your body tells you it's time to sleep. I used to become drowsy in the afternoon, but I don't do that so much anymore. I've made some healthy adjustments, and maybe we can talk about that at another time. But this cycle that we live on is actually God's mercy to us so that we will rest. Getting sleepy at the proper time is actually a great idea. And after we are rested, we can refresh and reboot with vigor to serve the Lord with all of our hearts, minds, and strength. But the internet age is changing our rhythms. We're going from a well-ordered life to a chaotic one. And one of the culprits is what I call the blue light that comes from our devices. I'm sure many of you know about this, and that's why cyber effect number 6 is so important, the blue light effect, because it is so disruptive. For example, in the evening, when the melatonin levels in our bodies begin to rise, it signals to our bodies that it's time to go to sleep. But if we spend the evening on a device, then that blue light from our devices, it will actually trick us into thinking that it's not bedtime, because what's happening is our melatonin levels begin to drop like they would in the morning when you awake, when God's rays enter our rooms to wake us up. And what we have are disruptive sleep cycles that they result in the cyberspace cadet having difficulty sleeping, focusing, paying attention. Of course, he'll be tired at the wrong times, throwing him out of sync with everybody else in his world. The next day, the cyber cadet will be at school. He's disruptive or he's sleepy, depending on the personality. He compromises his attention span, and his agitation levels do rise. Sadly, one of the typical remedies for the kid who needs a jolt to stay alert in school is medication. It has become our impulse to take him to a counselor because we want our child to achieve an optimal outcome, even if we have to drug him to get him there. Because when you take him to a therapist or a psychologist, and they will give him a whole bunch of questions, and of course they're going to come out more than likely saying that your child has ADHD. And at that juncture, to the non-discerning eye, he falls into the black hole of disorders. He gets a label. The secular counselor doesn't look for the source, the causes, but the secular person looks at the symptoms, and they align those symptoms to the DSM-5 nomenclature. Their descriptive psychology book is what it is, as it describes a list of behaviors, and if the child's behavior matches a certain number of descriptions in the DSM, he receives that label. And it begins to form an identity. I have ADHD, I have OCD, I have PTSD. Whatever it is that aligns to descriptive psychology from the DSM, that becomes our label, it becomes our identity, and it is hard to recover from here because there is a pseudo remedy. His behavior changes. Well, of course his behavior changes because he has been given a drug. This is called behavioral modification. It is not taking care of the problem at its root cause. And by the way, if you can drug him up to get him to pay attention in school, then he doesn't have to change his tech habits. It's a win-win for parents and children. The parents get the pragmatic, optimal, desired behavior, and the child doesn't have to give up his addictive behavior. One of the most effective solutions to this problem is a curfew of screen time in the evening, if not amputation altogether from screen time. There are other issues with the blue light, like macular degeneration, a common eye impairment for the older generation. As much as I thank God for tablets and devices where I can access and read fantastic Christ-centered content, I am also aware that I'm putting my eyes in harm's way. I don't want to be like the 25-year-old smoker who does not believe that he can get cancer. In this effect, it is cyber effect number 6. I'm calling it the blue light effect. It's from my book, The Cyber Effect. I want you to have a copy of it. You can go to our store, get that one, get all the others. Let me wrap up by asking a few questions. What is the blue light effect? And why is the blue light effect a real and tragic phenomenon? Number 2, what does descriptive psychology mean, and why does it provide no long-term heart-transforming solutions? Just to be clear, descriptive psychology is merely a person describing what they are observing. And what a secular counselor will do is they will describe he doesn't sleep, he's agitated, he's depressive, he's sleepy during the day. It's just describing a problem. There's no solutions whatsoever. And if these so many descriptors fit within a category, then he gets the label, then he gets the pill. Number 3, why do parents prefer medication? Because it's more about performance of the child than addressing the uniqueness of the child. That's the downside. That is the temptation of pragmatism. Number 4, what would tech moderation or tech amputation mean to you? What would it mean to your child? And then finally, how does the fear of man hinder you from making the right tech decisions for those that you love? If fear of man is a factor, how do you plan to change? Parents need to take heed to this because many parents struggle with the fear of man. They just do not want to tell their child no. They do not want their child to be mad at them. This is side effect number 6, the blue light effect, from my book, The Cyber Effect, which you can find in our store.
Thanks for joining us. Learn more and get access to other resources at lifeovercoffee.com.